Joined now by one of the all-time greats, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And as I said off the top, in this time with no sports, it's been difficult to do an hour about sports in this time, given what we've seen over the course of the past week. It feels impossible, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a man that is able to help us on a lot of levels sort of work through this. I'm grateful for you taking the time, Kareem. If you best describe sort of your state of mind at the moment, what is it?
I feel like I'm caught between hope and history. The hope is that the United States will live up to its ideals and overcome its history of very poor racial attitudes that end up in violence against Black Americans. I hope that we will deal with the better aspects of who we are as Americans. But history is it's very makes it very tough to have a positive outcome. It seems it just we just can't seem to get past a certain point, and that is very troubling.
And hope, I think we all hang on to that idea. But where do you, Kareem, look for it? Where do you see evidence of it? What gives you that hope?
Well, all right. Well, let's take the demonstrations that they had in Virginia, where the young lady got killed,
Hmm.
and the voices from across America were pretty united in saying that we do not support Nazis. We do not uh, treat people like that, and you know we're going to hold accountable people who incite racial violence. That there again, that's what we hope for, and that's what I saw. But at other times you see police departments that do not want to change their culture of hostility toward minority communities, and that's something we have to deal with and find a cure. Bad cops make it horrible for all of the good cops, the overwhelming majority of whom are just out there doing their jobs without much appreciation. Our police officers are incredible people, the men and women serving on our police forces. It's just a few bad cops that can make it horrible for everybody, citizens and police officers. And we got to find a way to cope with bad cops.
You wrote an op-ed in the Los Angeles Times over the weekend, and you had a description that I thought was remarkably impactful to me, and you described it as dust in the air. And you might not
Yeah.
see it even as you choke on it. As you described, when you let the sun in, you see where it is. And as we kind of let the sun in at this moment and take inventory, I'm struck by how many people are peacefully leading adding their voices, I should say, in support of George Floyd. I'm struck by that. Is that part of where you find some hope?
Oh, absolutely. And just the fact that people are acknowledging what has been going on for 400 years. Uh, Black lives have not been valued, and we got to change that. Just equal treatment under the law will work if certain police, pardon me, certain police institutions have to change their attitude and their culture and deal with people in a way that de-escalates tension and the things that cause violent incidents. We have to learn how to de-escalate these situations and enforce the law the way it should be enforced.
As someone who saw this in the 60s, and as you reference, a poet like Langston Hughes who wrote 70 years ago, or Marvin Gaye who sang about this idea 50 years ago, I would add, Public Enemy, what was that, 35 years ago? I mean, I don't know how many songs have to be sung or poems written, but now it's 2020, and as you and I have this conversation, I guess the most troubling part about it is how we collectively can't get beyond it. So that's where I ask one question, and I have it written down on this card. And I asked it on this show the other night because I want to put my hand in the air and stand with everybody that asks for justice, but I'm trying to figure out how. And that's why I feel so empty, because I don't know how. And so I'm not asking you to fix it, but I'm asking you to brainstorm with me about what we as a country do. How?
Well, one thing that we can do, all of us, we can go out and make a friend of someone who doesn't look like us. We have to understand what people's lives are like. People that we don't spend a whole lot of time with on a regular basis, but
Hmm.
we have to get to know our communities. Who are our fellow Americans? They come in all sizes and shapes and colors and religious faiths, but for the most part, they all believe in this wonderful experiment that is called the United States of America. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that is the strength that will help us get through these horrible times. Uh, we need to do something that will enable us to make bad cops go away. We have to be able to handle bad cops, and if we can do that, we can do what we need to do to get past this very very horrible moment that we've seen in the past week.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.